Today we're talking network racks. We're going to update my old one from this into this. Let's get after it. Okay, so as you can see, my current, or old, because I technically did this a couple days ago, setup wasn't ideal. It was super low, so all of the cable routing throughout the house was stretched to its absolute limit. It was sitting on a plastic bin just to keep it off the floor, and right next to it was a drain for the hot water heater in the furnace to any sort of leaks go into. Not ideal for electronic equipment. So the first step I wanted to do was get a rack that kind of enclosed it to protect it a little bit better, but also provided a way to mount more things that aren't necessarily perfectly slotting into that Unify rack. So first thing first, I ordered this Navepoint rack and I assembled it. I have to say it was my first network cabinet that I've ever assembled, and it went very smoothly. It was super easy to do, kind of lightweight, a little flimsier than I thought it would be, but it doesn't feel insubstantial. It just was lighter than I thought. So it kind of pieces together pretty well. You snap it in place and then a couple screws and you're good to go. The next challenge that I needed to handle was the fact that the wall in the electrical room or appliance room or whatever you want to call it, mechanical room I think, the beams, the studs for the wall were kind of recessed and I couldn't hang anything on it. So I needed to put some 2x4s on it to bring it out and then span the gap the correct distance for the rack. So I set up this kind of temporary workbench desk out on the patio and measured twice, cut once, times 4 to create some beams. So I have 2 that go horizontally to span the different beams and kind of spread the weight that way. And then I have these 2 vertical beams that line up with the width for the back of the rack where the bolt will come through so that everything hangs pretty well. And now that those are in place, I kind of sketchily hung up the rack and just put that on top of it. Now, we're going to jump ahead a little bit here. I somehow lost the footage of me moving the actual network equipment, so the switch and the patch panel into the rack. So just trust me, I did it because it's there. And the next thing is I am starting to add in some network storage. So this first one is just going to be a Synology NAS tried and true. It's a 2-bay and I'm putting in 4 terabyte hard drives in each slot. This is really just going to back up kind of like personal files, some photos, nothing huge. I've got a couple different solutions coming in the near future to do some more robust stuff with. But for now, this is just a very simple, straightforward Synology. I'm going to run it in RAID 1 just to have parity across the 2 of them. Got that hooked up, and then I decided I was going to move all of these smart home hubs that I have into the network rack, just to kind of clean things up and keep it all centralized. They're all hardwired anyway, so there was no real reason to keep them out of the rack, except for the aesthetics of this absolutely suck. So the thing that I want to do next is use my 3D printer, which I never use, to clean things up. So a couple hours of 3D modeling and printing later, I have this nice little rack for these hubs to go in and for the keen-eye of you. Yes, there is an empty hole in there. I have a new hub coming for some new goodies. If you aren't subscribed already, make sure you click that button down below and leave a comment on what you think the new hub is going to be based off of the size in the rack. And finally, it wouldn't be a YouTube video of network racking if there wasn't an LED in it. So, cue the Aqara LED strip being put in. And there you have it. So, quick little video. I just wanted to kind of go over this little update I've got. I've been building up a little bit of a backlog of content. I recently sold my house in Colorado and it just closed, thank you. So it's been a little hectic trying to get everything situated. I also started a new job, so that's why there's been a little gap between the last video and this one, but don't worry, I've got a couple videos already staggered out for the next couple weeks, so we are good to go. And as always, if you've made it this far, please leave a like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around the bend.